Father begot the Son, and the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Holy Spirit. It's not a sexual act. You need to look up the word begotten. It means can also mean to generate.
Now,
or to
answer my question about instead of preaching.
So, one second. We are saying that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son. Does that mean that the Holy Spirit is created if the Father is eternal?
I asked you, is the Holy Spirit caused
You've
by...
asked me questions.
No,
I'm asking you a question.
No, I haven't finished.
You have
My
asked
question
me
is...
questions. Now you answer my question.
Listen.
The Father is eternal. The Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father. If the Father is eternal, does it not follow that the Holy Spirit is also eternal?
So I asked you...
Wasn't that your argument about the Quran being eternal, the word of Allah?
Listen. So I asked you, because the Holy Spirit exists...
He's not answering my question.
Let me finish my question, and I don't want you to waffle around and preach. So I asked you now, for the sake of the completion of the argument that I made, is this. Holy Spirit exists in your belief. Exists without a beginning in your belief. Is this existence independent, you ask, independent of what? So I'm going to ask you with, is the existence of the Holy Spirit caused by anything? Instead of answering that question, what you did is, Christians believe it proceeds from the Father. This is not what I asked you.
So
I asked you question about causation.
You've asked the question several times.
Let me finish
Allow
again.
me to answer it again.
Okay, cause.
Mansur is asking, what is the cause of the Holy Spirit? The assumptions of the question are wrong. Again, Christians believe that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son. If the Father is eternal, then that means the Holy Spirit is also eternal. This is exactly the same logic that Mansur used to defend the idea that the Quran was eternal. So why does he create a double standard? Why does he say that it's okay for the Quran to be eternal because Allah is eternal, but it's not okay for the Holy Spirit to be eternal because the Father is eternal? Why this double standard, Mansur?
Okay, so now as you've seen, while he spoke, I didn't interrupt him. I expect the same courtesy. Notice the false equivocation. I don't believe, as Muslims don't believe, that Allah's speech proceeds from him at some point or whatever. We believe this is inherent within him. You believe the Holy Spirit proceeds from something else. So the Holy Spirit's cause is the Father and the Son.
May I reply?
So I haven't finished. So now you believe the Holy Spirit is dependent on the Father and the Son for its proceeding. So that's why the problem is, if you believe in the Christian belief of Trinity, we have to ask you, where did you get all this from? What's your textual basis? I've not finished. What's your textual basis for all of this?
He's just preaching.
No, I'm not preaching. No, I'm not finished. Now, so what I ask is,
I think it's actually relevant to your question.
Excuse me, I haven't finished.
No. Mansur is preaching now. And he's misrepresenting my beliefs.
Before I finish my point, he's going to cut me off saying I'm preaching.
1 second.
Why are you so afraid to let me finish?
Mansur,
okay, let me ask you. Why are you so afraid to let me finish?
Because you're just talking, Mansur.
When I finish, I will tell you when I'm finished. So let me continue. So in your belief, you have a belief like this.
Just to let you know, dude, I've got to go in like 8 minutes.
You have a belief where there is one God and there are persona of this one God. So I want you to clarify one thing for us. Not immediately when I finish. You have a God who sends someone like the Son and the Holy Spirit. And this Holy Spirit and the Son is not the one who is sending. The Son worships. The Son worships the Father. The Son worships the Father. You have an entity called a persona who's supposed to be God.
Are you preaching or can I
I'm asking.
This is a long question. Cut to the chase, man.
No. You need to be patient. I'm going to teach you patience today. So, dude, listen.
Come on.
So you have a God. Now, within this Godhead is a persona. Okay? This persona worships the other persona. Why?
So, Mansur didn't answer my question that I asked to him, and so I am under now no obligation to answer any of his questions.
What's the
Because
point of
I have
talking?
to go for 7 minutes. I've got to go in 7 minutes.
Let's go.
I just want to.
There's no point.
That's fine.
No.
So,
He's not
if
going to
you
answer
guys-
the question. No.
Let him finish.
No, he can
He's
finish.
saying
He can
that
talk
we
to
have
himself.
no textual
But you can
basis
No, he can talk to
to
himself.
say that the Holy Spirit is God. So I'm just going to
That's the
read
level
one.
of his argumentation.
Are you
He can
listening?
speak
If
to
you
himself.
don't want to
a man
answer,
named
I was
Ananias,
gonna stay, bro.
with his wife Sapphira,
He's
sold
not
a
gonna
piece
answer my
of
question. What's
property
the point?
and kept back some of the price
He's
for
not. He's been asked
himself.
about 7 questions. He's
With his
denied them.
wife's full knowledge and bringing a
bro.
portion of it,
Bro,
he
that's
laid
the
it at the apostles' feet.
Whatever he's
But
saying, he's gonna
Peter
stick to
said
his
to
own thing.
Ananias, but Peter said to Ananias, why has Satan filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit and to keep back some of the price of the land? While it remained unsold, did it not remain your own? And after it was sold, was it not under your control? Why is it that you have conceived this deed in your heart? You have not lied to men, but to God.
So why does one persona worship the other persona?
So, he
Answer
said
the
that there was
question.
no textual basis to say that the Holy Spirit was God. I just gave it. Now I'm going to give you a textual
Why does
basis
the
to
one
say
persona
that
worship the other
Jesus
persona?
is God.
I'm not asking the
Earlier in
question.
our conversation,
You see how it is? Storm
No,
an
I'm
argument.
still talking. I'm
Storm
still
an argument.
talking.
Answer my
Earlier in our
question.
conversation,
Why does one persona
Mansur
worship the other persona?
named Allah as the first and the last to show
Changing
that he
subject,
was
man.
without beginning
Is he gonna
or
answer?
end.
Or is he going to
Bible
just
says,
walk away?
Behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me, to render to every man according to what he has done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. These are two names of Allah, the beginning and the end. It goes on, I, Jesus, have sent my angels to testify.
So,
Mansur says in the Quran that some of the 99 names of Allah is that Allah is the first and the last. Jesus uses these very names to talk about himself. There is your textual basis for showing that Jesus is God.
Okay, to
Now
now-
I said to you, Mansur,
I'm going now to
I said
reply-
to you,
to
Mansur,
reply.
that I had to go at 3 o'clock, so I have to go in
4
4
minutes.
minutes.
4 minutes. Now, in 4 minutes then.
4
4
minutes.
minutes. Very good. So now, I did not ask you to textually prove that they are gods. That's what you believe. My question has always been to the Christians, what makes them one God? Was the question. But the question that I asked you now is this.
I can do that.
The question I'm asking you now is this. Why does one persona worship another persona when they're supposed to be God?
Yes, please.
Can you answer that?
So one of the questions that he asked,
Why does one persona worship the other?
one of the questions that he says he goes around and he asks the questions.
No, answer the question I'm asking now.
No.
Why does
Lord,
one persona
When I asked you to show me in the
worship?
Quran where it says the Quran is eternal, you said you did not need to. You said you did not need to answer my questions. I am under no obligation now
he
to
didn't say
answer
that.
yours.
Answer it.
I am
say
under
that. He
no
answered you,
obligation
you
to
didn't accept
answer
it.
yours.
You see, I answered. I didn't say I am under no obligation to answer. I did answer, and I gave you my reason.
So he asked the question.
So, are you going to answer the
he
question?
He says he goes around asking the questions. What textual basis do you say that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are one God? I'm going to give it you right now.
What did you ask me for?
Hear, O Israel,
the
the Lord
define, I mean,
our
what does
God,
it mean,
the
oneness
Lord
for him?
is one. There you go. There's your textual basis
Repeat
for
it again.
saying that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are one.
Repeat that again.
Here it is.
Repeat that again. Repeat it again. Go on. What did you just quote?
The Lord our God is one.
Hang on. What did you just quote?
I call to the Shema.
And what did the Shema say? Is the Holy Spirit in the Shema?
Oh, wait. Yeah.
No, hang on. You just quoted a statement.
You want a textual basis?
No.
I'll show
First
you.
of all, the Strowman argument, as you are very good
shown
at,
it to
is
you.
this.
I've
I've
shown it
asked
to you.
you and I've
Thank you for the
challenged you.
compliment, Mansur.
I've challenged you and asked
And
you
so
this.
you don't answer questions. You
Listen.
can't demand that people ask
Why
questions.
does one persona worship another persona? Answer
Okay,
that.
very quickly to answer that one question, and then I do have to go. Like I said to Mansur
No
at the very
problem.
beginning,
You
I
can
have
go
to
at 3
agree.
o'clock.
The Son became incarnate in flesh. It's hardly logical that God would become a man, taking on the full attributes of a man, and then become an atheist. Of course, as a human being, he had to worship the Father as a man. It makes a lot of sense. And on that note, I've got to go.
No, I didn't say.
Gotta go.
I didn't say why the
I
human.
said to you I had to go at 3. I've got to go.
You can
Take
go.
care, Mansur.
You can go.
Take care.
I did not say, to continue now, I did not say why does the human Jesus worship the divine persona?
They're not separate.
Why does
They're not separate.
one persona,
No.
one persona worship the other?
Remember that, Mansur. They're not
Why does one persona worship the other? His answer was he became a man, that's why he worshipped. No, I'm not talking about the flesh part worshipping the divine. Neither am I asking why does the human Jesus worship the divine Jesus? Why doesn't it in the first place? Why doesn't it? So as you can realize, this particular gentleman in the Christian belief system comes on Speaker's Corner, finds it very troublesome that Muslims are really taking the intellect out of their head and putting the head back again. No, that's what he realizes.
I wouldn't say that, sir.
No, this is what he realizes, that Christians are not using their intellect. So Muslims are saying, look into your belief. You believe there is only one God, but this one God worships another God. Does that make sense? This one God says, I can of myself do nothing. This one God says, all power is given unto me. If you're God, how can you receive power? You should have the power already. Instead of them saying, you know what, our belief, we need to really understand why we believe in such a non-believable things, he comes along and wants to say, oh, in the Quran somehow you have a similar belief. No, we don't believe in this kind of illogical beliefs. We believe in Allah, that he is the one and only God, and all his attributes are eternal with him. That is what logically follows.
Including his speech.
Yeah, simple as that. You don't need, a supercomputer in your brain to understand that God, if he's eternal, he exists with his attributes eternally. He doesn't acquire a new set of attributes.
Can I say something? If you don't mind?
Of course.
I say that my God, I'm a Christian, okay? You lose your son, you lose your brother, so he dies a family. And the first thing he says, why the hell of God is this happening? Why is he letting this happen? Right? Who's your God?
My God is what Jesus worshipped. Do you believe Jesus worshipped
That's your
God?
question.
My God is the God of Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you believe Jesus had a God? Do you believe Jesus had a God which he worshipped?
Who's your God? Who do you believe in?
I believe in the God of Jesus.
Why does he put the world right?
I explained to you, I believe in the God of Moses, God of Abraham, God of Jacob, God of Solomon, God of Noah, God of Adam, God of Muhammad, peace be upon them all. So do you believe Jesus had a God?
Yeah.
Do you believe Jesus is God while he had a God?
Why are you answering my question?
Which is?
Brother.
You forgot it.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he put the world right? Why do we all this trouble going?
If there is only one God, and you say this God is a tree, in the day of judgment, do you think you'll be saved?
I didn't say there's only one God. I said I don't believe in God.
If you believed.
But I don't.
Okay, you don't believe in God.
So why is
Okay, do you believe in yourself?
Of course I do.
Okay. Do you believe?
Why don't you answer the question?
I want to understand. No. I want you to understand where we come from when we say there is a God. Do you believe nothingness can create something?
I believe that if there was a God, he would put the world right. Stop all this fighting,
Okay.
this killing. And
May I ask you one simple question? Do you believe nothingness can create something?
Do I believe in nothing? Yes.
Nothingness which doesn't exist can create something that
No,
exists?
you're going about existence again. You
Yes.
break your wall that down. Yeah.
No, it's very reasonable question. If something doesn't exist, can it create anything?
But I'm not on about that.
I am asking you about our
I am
universe.
asking you. But
About
you
you.
won't answer my question.
I just said
I'm asking you.
the reason why I believe in a God. I will tell you why.
Why have you stopped all this fighting and killing and starvation and floods and all this? Why? If you're so
If we believe God has given us free will, to exercise the free will means you can use a knife to cut an apple and have the apple and eat it, or kill someone, right? If you don't have free will, then God can stop you from harming anyone. But we believe God has given us free will. That means some people will use this free will wrongly and injure and harm others. Are you listening? Do you think we have free will?
Yes, it's a
Right. Free will means some people will use it in a wise way and some people won't.
That's exactly what's happening, isn't it?
Yeah, so it is not that God doesn't exist because there are evil things happening in the world. What it demonstrates is people are exercising the free will wrongly. And that's why you have all this chaos and corruption. In the Quran, the book from God, Allah tells us, corruption has occurred in the land and the sea for what man has earned with their own hands, what we have done. We have polluted the air. We have polluted the land. We have polluted the sea. Because of this, we have all these problems. Do you know there is a layer called the ozone layer? We have created a hole in the ozone layer.
All that, but why?
Right, wait, can I
Why?
finish? Can
Why?
I finish? Because we have created a hole in the ozone layer, now very harmful rays can pass through this hole, come to us, please, just to demonstrate it properly, and then we can get skin cancer. Who is responsible? God or man? Us, exactly. So just because there are problems in this world, none of the problems are man-made. Man-made. A lot of them, man-made. So God says He created this world and He has put a balance. He says, do not transgress or overstep this balance. La tukhsirul mizan. Don't disturb this balance. If you, for example, the ecosystem, if you maintain the ecosystem, then it will be very nice for everyone and everything. But we disturb the balance and we cause problems.
Get back to me first. Why doesn't He put it right?
No, He had put it right, but He gave people the free will, and then people are not putting it right. People are to blame for what they're doing.
So it's not God, it's us.
Yeah, I know.
Disobeying.
Yep,
Do you understand the basis of a simple question?
I just told you.
You've got a God.
God has given us,
But I don't
created
believe
this
in
life. Okay, what would make you believe there is a creator of our universe? What would convince you, without a shadow of doubt,
Nothing
that
would be all your scientists, your physicists. I'm not interested in that. What I'm saying
what would
is
convince you?
nothing at this present time.
If you want to believe in something, you should believe on evidence, right? Right. What evidence would convince you?
Put the world right. Stop all this killing and this fighting and this
I
flooding.
just told you,
and all this.
the reason why you don't
I
see,
know you have.
no, the reason why
I've just
there is,
answered you.
no, I'm just telling you, because your demand doesn't seem to be very meaningful. I'm telling you why.
No, I think it was
No,
really meaningful.
no, I'm telling you
It's
why.
given all this ill health and all this
Please
trouble.
listen. Okay, let me ask you a question. If there was no problem in this world, no malaria, no mosquito, no tsunami, no cancer, no AIDS, no
wonderful
pain,
world.
let me finish. No suffering,
You're going to get the same answer.
no suffering, no evil, would that automatically prove that there is a creator?
No, would it be a wonderful world?
Wait. If that doesn't automatically prove there is a creator, how does the opposite of that, where there is suffering, pain, prove that there is no creator? You're not being very logical, I'm sorry. If suffering, pain, mosquito proves that there is no creator, the absence of that then logically should prove that there is a creator. But you say no, it doesn't. That means your argument about the problem of evil is not a good argument in the first place. It's a very weak argument.
What do we do? Can we just carry on?
No, what I'm saying is the argument not to believe in a creator because there are suffering is a very weak and unacceptable argument. It's not a valid argument. Because if it was valid, then the opposite of that would be also true. If there was no suffering, that means there is a God. If there was no evil, there is a God. But you don't believe, that follows logically. So this argument of problem of evil is a very weak, invalid argument. So
I
now,
never said that. You said that.
but you believe there is no creator because if there was a creator, then there shouldn't be all of these problems. But I'm saying if there wasn't these problems, does that mean there is a creator?
No, I don't believe in God.
Okay.
I'm an atheist.
So what? Okay. What is your positive evidence for atheism?
I've just asked you a simple question. You know,
Now, you said you're an atheist.
I'm an atheist. I don't believe
Good.
in God. I've told you 1,000 times, haven't I?
Okay.
How many more times have I tell
Okay.
you that?
What is your evidence for this non-belief?
It's my belief.
Is it based on something?
No, my belief.
Is it based on anything?
My belief.
based on belief. It's a blind belief.
What?
So it's a blind belief. So it's a blind belief.
If you say so.
No,
But it's my
when I
belief.
say blind, if you say like religion is a blind belief, if you cannot provide an evidence. So if you cannot provide an evidence for your belief or your reasons, it's a blind belief. You just believe. For example, you can believe you're the King of England.
No, I don't.
If somebody does, without any evidence, it's just a blind belief. So it is important to do not agree to